Life over everything.
Good morning, everyone. All are requested to take your seats. The inaugural session will be starting soon. Please keep your phones in silent mode.
morning, everyone. Please be seated. Our inaugural function will be starting soon. Thank you. Respected dignitaries, delegates, speakers, sponsors, and member of the media, a very good morning to one and all. Welcome to Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India. I, Amit Singh, and my co-anchor, Arushi Seth, feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of organizing committee of SMOPS for 2 days international conference with the theme of emerging technologies and automation in space mission operations and ground segment.
Scientists have become the bearers of the torch of discovery in our quest for knowledge. These words by Stephen Hawking are relevant to this day as space technology is growing by leaps and bounds under the guidance of space experts. We are proud and honored to have amongst us leaders in the field of space and technology who continue to pave the path for others to follow. It gives me great pleasure to invite the dignitaries onto the dais. I request the chief guest of the event, Mr. Shoaib Lega, former President IAF, Shri S. Somnath, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman ISRO, Dr. Pavan Kumar Goenka, Chairman InSpace, Shri M. Shankaran, Director URSC, Shri B. N. Ramakrishna, Director ISTRAC, and Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director NRSC, to occupy their seats on the dais. I request Srimati Nandini Harinath, Chairperson, Organizing Committee SMOPS, and Dr. Vinod Kumar, Alternate Chairperson, Organizing Committee SMOPS, to escort the dignitaries to the dais.
This conference is to associate and connect with the various space agencies, startups, industry, and academia. The conference aims to bring in space leaders together to share their views on existing technologies and its challenges, while previewing the state-of-the-art technologies that are being conceived globally to make space mission operation secure and robust. This conference provides a platform to boost the synergy between startups, academia, industry, and space agencies.
Let us begin today's event with an invocation. An invocation is a call to something greater than ourselves, a call to be guided by a power beyond our own understanding, and to be filled with the spirit of love and compassion. I invite Srimati Lata S. Rao to render the invocation, which is in Raga Malika, to the God of beginnings and remover of obstacles, the God of knowledge and wisdom, Lord Ganesha.
सारमती सुमती गणपति सारमती सुमती गणपति धीरगति सुकृति कृति सारमती सुमती गणपति सोहं गंदी हंसानंदी मोहपरा गंदी सारमती सुमती गणपति रागयोगी महाभोगी त्यागवेगी नियोगी सारमती सुमती गणपति विद्या जीवन सद्यो मोहना विद्या जीवन सद्यो मोहना विद्या संवदना सारमती सुमती गणपति धीरगति सुकृति कृति सारमती सुमती गणपति Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam, for this opportunity to come together in a moment of spiritual reflection and ask for guidance and blessings as we start the event. The lamp represents the light that guides us on our journey through life while dispelling darkness and helps us to see the path ahead. It reminds us to seek knowledge, seek the truth, and always strive to be better. So, reaffirming our commitment to learning and growth, I invite the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp. I request our chief guest and all dignitaries and Ms. Akanksha to assist them.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Serve as a beacon, guiding us towards a brighter future.
Srimati Nandini Harinath, a chairperson of Organizing Committee of SMOPS and Deputy Director, Spacecraft Mission Operation Area, STRAC, has been an integral part of this event from the very beginning and has left no stone unturned to ensure that everything runs seamlessly and successfully. She has brought a wealth of experience and expertise to the table and played a crucial role in planning and execution of every aspect of this event. Srimati Nandini's skill as a mission director of various satellite missions did manifest itself in encouraging the team to achieve the mission objective, that is SMOPS. I invite Srimati Nandini Harinath to welcome this August gathering.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Shri Somnath, Secretary DOS, Dr. Pavan Kumar Goenka, Chairman in Space and Chief Patron of SMOPS, our guest of honor today, Mr. Sean E. Legar, former IAF President and former KENIS President, respected Shri Kiran Kumar Sir, Chief Patron of SMOPS, Shri Shankaran, Director URSC, Chairman of SMOPS Advisory Committee, Shri B.N. Ramakrishna Sir, Director ISTRAC, the force behind SMOPS, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, member of Advisory Committee, Dr. Vinod, Executive Secretary, and alternate chairperson SMOPS, distinguished keynote speakers, directors of various ISRO centers, seniors of the dais, our distinguished delegates, Suprabhat, Namaskar, and a warm good morning. SMOPS-2023, the International Conference on Spacecraft Mission Operations, is a unique idea, the first in ISRO for mission operations. It's an opportunity for all mission operation experts and ground segment designers to showcase their ideas, innovations, and solutions. All of us agree it is not very common for this section of the space community to involve in writing papers, publish, or even engage in extensive research. But having said that, it is this very community of space scientists who are in a very matter-of-fact way and very pragmatically operating spacecrafts on Moon, Mars, and other distant planets, citing novel solutions for unexpected on-orbit issues. They manage vast interfaces on the ground and churn out valuable data products and science to the user community. All of it while very diligently performing the daily grind of operations. So it is for this very reason the conference is relevant and unique, as it serves as a platform for all of us to share knowledge, exchange ideas, and collaborate on the challenges and opportunities that we face as mission operations personnel. The conference itself is a culmination of a year-long planning, from identifying topics to ensuring we have international speakers for each of the topic, reviewing papers to planning the schedule. It's been a journey where the team has worked relentlessly. The result of which we see today in terms of the huge response that we are having. We have curated for you a very impressive line of keynote speakers. We are grateful to each and every one of the keynote speakers who have traveled across the globe to be with us. So let me start by welcoming our chief guest of the day, Mr. Legar. We are very honored to have you amongst us, sir, and we express our deep gratitude for accepting our invitation to inaugurate this conference. I request Rupa to welcome Mr. Legal with a sapling. Chairman ISRO, Sri Somnath, consistently uplifts and inspires us with his unwavering encouragement and motivation. Gracious welcome to you, sir. Request Shivani to welcome Chairman ISRO with a sapling. Chairman in Space, Dr. Pavan Kumar Goenka, he personifies an icon in his own right, infusing the space community with novel ideas and newer dimensions. We welcome you, sir, to this conference. Request Leo to welcome Dr. Goenka with a sapling. Sri Shankaran, Director URSC and Chairman of our Advisory Committee for SMOPS, he diligently oversaw every aspect of our planning and provided expert guidance on even the minutest of details. We thank you, sir, and welcome you to the conference. Request Sina to welcome sir. Sri B.N. Ramakrishna, Director ISTRAC, the person who actually conceived the idea of this conference. He is our go-to man for every issue. And he's someone who adeptly resolved all the challenges that arose all along the way. And he was involved in every aspect of this conference. Thank you, sir, for being there with us, for us. A warm welcome to you. Request Manikantan to welcome, sir. Dr. Vinod Kumar, Executive Secretary ASI, alternate chairperson to SMOPS, our trusted accomplice and confidant, has been with us all along. I welcome you, Vinodji, and I request Subramanya Ganesh to welcome Vinod Kumarji. Dr. Prakash Chavan, Director NRSC, our advisory committee member, with his wealth of experience and soft demeanor, graciously imparted numerous words of wisdom to us. We welcome you, sir. Request Hemlata to kindly welcome, sir, with a sapling. Distinguished keynote speakers, your presence has elevated the stature of this conference. A special welcome to all of you. Distinguished seniors, delegates, authors of the papers, we couldn't have had this conference without you. I welcome you all to this conference. And finally and importantly, our sponsors and media. Your contribution to this conference is invaluable. Thanks for coming and our heartfelt greetings to you. I hope this conference will be a melting pot of ideas, provide an opportunity for us to learn from each other, foster collaborations, and form lasting partnerships that will propel us further into probably SMOPS 2, 3, and 4, hopefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for the warm words of welcome. I request Sri K.R. Sangamesh to welcome Srimati Nandini Harinath with a sapling. Sri B.N. Ramakrishna, Director, ISRO Telemetry Tracking and Command Network, has been the originator and guiding force behind the planning of this event, lending every support required by the organizing committee in conducting this program. Shri B.N. Ramakrishna, an expert in the field of spacecraft mission operations, has led many new innovations towards automation of satellite operations. He has been leading Team ISTRAC, the major ground segment provider for low Earth missions, deep space satellite missions, launch vehicle missions of ISRO and external agencies, and the NAVIC system. His notable contribution in the navigation systems area were the realization of the tri-band reference receivers, the state-of-the-art precise timing facility, and in the operationalization of the ISO Navigation Center at Lucknow. I request Shri B.N. Ramakrishna to introduce the theme of the conference to our audience.
Good morning to all of you. Respected Chairman ISRO, Secretary DOS, Sri Somnath, Chief guest of today's function, former President IAF and Honorary Ambassador, Sri Yeshwantpur from France, Chairman in Space, Sri Pawan Kumar Goenka ji, Director URSC, Dr. M. Shankaran, Director NRSC, Dr. Prakash Chavan, ISRO Center Directors, Associate Directors, Sri Vinod, ASI Executive Secretary, Session Chairs, distinguished speakers, authors, invitees, organizing committee members, colleagues from various centers of ISRO, friends from academia and media, ladies and gentlemen. A warm good morning to all of you. I joined the chairperson of the organizing committee in taking the opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all of you and invite you to SMOPS-2023, the first conference that is being jointly hosted by ISRO and ASI with the support from IAA for publications. The conference is focused on spacecraft mission operations with a theme on emerging trends in automation of space and ground segment operations. My team at ISTRAC and I are extremely happy and honored to host all of you here in the congenial environs of Bangalore, and we hope that your stay here would be pleasant and memorable one. Space mission operations are now acknowledged the world over by the space agencies as a core competence in space technology. A robust mission operations framework is very vital and critical to the success of space missions. Space agencies worldwide have started according a lot of importance for evolving and maintaining an operation infrastructure that can assure flawless operations day in and day out. The reason I turned for the conference is to highlight the various challenges that the space mission operations teams face today and to provide a common forum for exchange of ideas and thoughts in the ever-evolving area. Spacecraft mission operation is an unforgiving area with a very little scope for making mistakes. Excellence, therefore, is not an option, but a way of life. This conference, I am sure, will serve as a melting pot for the convergence of technologies and pave the way for many innovations that will make space mission operations safe, sustainable, and optimal. The idea of a conference on spacecraft mission operations germinated during the onset of the pandemic, but we had to wait until it was normal again to begin the preparations. When I first mentioned about the conference to Chairman ISRO, I was greeted by a very strong, approving, positive, encouraging response, which provided us with the much needed impetus for setting the ball rolling along with ASI. Thank you very much, sir. Once the formal approval was taken, the planning and execution still remained, and I am really indebted in the to the advisory committee for having guided at every stage meticulously in planning the event. The idea was to encourage all aspects of spacecraft mission operations, and therefore a wide gamut of topics were selected as the theme of the conference and the various sessions. The conference, among other things, also features invited talks by various eminent personalities from across the space fraternity of the world. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to all of them for having accepted our invitation and for coming over here to give their knowledge. It is needless to say that a robust automation suite is the core of a flawless and optimal operations framework, and accordingly the theme for this year's edition of SMOPS is the emerging trends in the automation of space and ground segment. Artificial intelligence and machine learning will play a major role in space operations of large fleet of satellites in the future, and the organizers have ensured that these topics have their place in the deliberations. Human space flight is the pinnacle of space research and the fantasy of the humanity at large, and at ISRO is in a threshold of initiating its manned space flight. The conference features a special edition on the challenges of unmanned missions operations as well as manned mission. I am sure that this session will feature some of the interesting papers that will kindle intense deliberations. An integral part of the spacecraft mission operation setup is a well laid out ground station network that can ensure adequate radio contact with the satellites. The conference features exclusive sessions on the ground station and system engineering. The deep space network is another area which is evolving, and new concepts are coming out with the designing of large array of smaller antennas that are capable of reaching farther. ISRO is all set to launch missions to the sun and moon, and what better way to toast the season than to feature a session on ground station operations. Space and flight mechanics is a subject that is very close to the space operations in milieu. The operations framework warrants accurate, precise, and real-time estimates of the state vectors of the satellite. The maneuver planning, interplanetary, deep space missions involve complex computations and modeling. While the fundamental mechanics remain intact, there are tremendous improvements in the computational techniques that are used to estimate the orbit and trajectories of the spacecraft. A session has been exclusively identified for discussing the flight dynamics related topics. Space situational awareness is a vital component of a sustainable and safe space operations. The space situational awareness encompasses a wide gamut of topics such as microwave-based observations, optical observations, orbit determination, and propagation and conjunction analysis. With the low Earth orbit, as all of you know, which is getting crowded with a lot of satellites getting launched, it's important that we address this area as well and ensure a good number of discussions happen for the future. The conference also features on simulations, data processing, mission design, various other topics related to space and mission operations. I am sure that the conference has enough to satiate the intellectual hunger of a space scientist, particularly the one with the taste for space and mission operations. Organizing an event of this magnitude certainly required meticulous planning and careful preparation, and I must definitely compliment the teams that were involved in organizing this event. At this stage, I would like to wish all the participants of the conference the very best, and I hope the SMOPS becomes a flagship conference for the spacecraft mission operations domain for the years to come. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Through the genesis and theme of the conference. Dr. A.K. Anil Kumar, Associate Director, STRAC, had been shouldering the immense responsibility of being the chairman of Technical Review Committee of SMOPS. He is the face of ISRO's Space Situational Awareness Program. He is Vice President of International Astronautical Federation and is also the Chief General Manager of Safe and Sustainable Operation Management. His enormous experience in conducting the conference has enhanced the organization of this conference. I invite Dr. A.K. Anil Kumar to give a brief on technical sessions and paper which are planned during the conference. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all. Dear respected Chairman ISRO, Somnath sir, Chief Guest Shoy Lagar, Dr. Pawan Kumar Goenka, Chairman in Space, and other dignitaries on the dais, and all the delegates. Very good morning to all. Let me join Srimati Nandini and Director ISTRAC in welcoming you all for this important conference. Spacecraft Mission Operations Conference is one of the unique conferences ISRO hosts in the region. This conference aimed not only to bring all experts globally contributing in this field, but to give many innovative ideas on spacecraft and mission operations to the middle level and the younger engineers doing their career in this field. While designing the theme and the objective of this conference, we have just identified areas which has got potential in making operations safely, securely, and sustainably, and also optimally. Apart from the plenary and invited talks from various eminent experts globally, we have invited contributor papers from the spacecraft and mission operations community internationally. The conference topics of the interest already discussed, already told by the Director ISTRAC. It contains present and future trend in spacecraft operations and mission design, GSO spacecraft operations challenges, present and future trend in ground station operations, space situational awareness, challenges in flight dynamic operations, trends in ground segment resource allocation and optimization, satellite constellations management, simulation and modeling techniques, artificial intelligence and applications, human spaceflight mission operations management, and areas like related to many spacecraft operations and the ground segments. The overwhelming response from the space community from India and abroad itself show the value of this conference. We received a total of 363 full papers, out of which 295 were accepted after two-stage blind review by ISRO experts. Each paper was examined by two experts, and 295 papers were requested for revisions preliminarily. After further reviewing the full-length papers after revisions, which was submitted to SMOPS, 212 papers were accepted, out of which 128 are oral and 66 as poster. These 128 oral presentations will be done in these 2 days in 15 sessions with 4 parallel sessions at a time for the presentations. Separate time slots are provided for viewing the poster presentations. Let me thank the technical committee with the convener Dr. P.D. Misra and local organizing committee Srimati Nandini as chairperson and Amit Kumar Singh as convener for putting a lot of efforts in finalizing the technical programs. Let us hope that this conference brings out innovative ideas, advanced research studies, and especially automation, optimality, and artificial intelligence machine learning techniques, which can be employed in spacecraft mission operations. Let me wish all the very best for this 2-day conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for providing the insight into the upcoming technical sessions. Shri S. Somnath, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman ISRO, and President, Astronautical Society of India, is an expert in the area of system engineering of launch vehicles. His pioneering contributions to mechanical integration designs resulted in making PSLV a highly sought-after launcher commercially across the world. With his professional acumen, he has provided technology leadership for designing the LVM-3. He has been a proponent of safe and sustainable space. With his unparalleled technical capabilities and managerial skills, he has injected new vigor and enthusiasm in the ISRO community for taking up more challenges and innovations in the space sector. I invite Shri S. Somnath, Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Nandini. Good morning, all of you. Honorable Shoy Lega, Thank you so much for coming over and then be part of our conference. He has been the president of IAF, under whom I served as the vice president for some good time and had the honor to work on various topics in the international fora. So thank you once again. Dr. Pavan Goenka, chairman in space. Mr. Shankaran, chairman of the advisory committee and director URSC. Dr. Prakash Chauhan, director of NRSC. Mr. Ramakrishnan, director ISTRAC. Dr. Vinod Kumar is the director in InSpace and the executive secretary of IAA. And Dr. Sri Kiran Kumar, our former chairman, distinguished speakers of the many sessions, delegates, invitees, sponsors, industry participants, students, my greetings to you all on this occasion of this conference. I really congratulate the team for bringing out a topic that is very, very important for us, relevant for us at this time, generally not being taken as a conference topic in the past. We felt that they are operational people. No? They were generally seen as an operational people and not really the space people. That was even the type of the impression that we had in the community over a long period of time. But of course, they are part of the mission design, mission planning, operations, etc. With us all through the journey of building rockets and satellites and missions. But now they occupy a very elite position, primarily because of the very important reason that the spacecrafts as an asset is very, very important for us, need to be preserved, secured, operated in a manner that extends its life, improves its operational flexibility, provides the type of services that is needed. Ultimately, it's not just for a technology demonstration that we are sending spacecrafts finally for achieving certain goals. And that too depends on the operational capability and the innovative elements that comes into the spacecraft mission operations. We all realize that it starts from the very spacecraft design itself. Even while planning the operational part of it, people need to get involved in the architecture of the spacecraft, the sensors, the algorithms, the methodology, the planning. All of this becomes an integral part of the spacecraft mission operation design. Of course, it goes down to the hardware design, the servos, the antennas, the operational networks, the computers, the operational planning. All of this becomes yet another part of it. Maybe in the past, we were most focused on the geostationary satellites management, became one of the major domain of the operational team, reaching up to that orbit, positioning it, then maintaining it has been one of the major challenge. And the other orbits became a very occasional activity of managing the operations, but mostly into the imaging and getting the data as a mission planning elements were involved in that. But you look at the change that is happening in the ecosystem across the world. The large number of satellites are being deployed in orbits other than GEO. The constellations are emerging, and number of spacecrafts are increasing significantly, which makes the need of automation and planning to be people independent, able to take decisions, and when criticality emerges in a very seamless manner with all the people involved in the chain, so that spacecraft can be secured, saved. Yet another major topic which is emerging is again the security and sustainability of the assets, which becomes extremely important in terms of the hardware, software, algorithm, encryption, and observations which are required to keep the fleets running very safely. So space situational awareness and related topics became one of the important domains in the recent times, not to speak about the debris and other related topics which are associated with that, which is again part of the observational networks and the requirement of operating under critical events. I believe that the list of topics that have been listed today, the papers submitted today, really cover the extent of the topics that are important in this domain, and I believe the community who are assembled here with a very great response which we are seeing here will definitely benefit from the papers that are being presented, the talks which are being delivered. We in ISRO are very, very happy that this is being organized at a time when we are getting ready for very interesting missions, important missions in the coming months, especially the mission to Moon again. The Chandrayaan-3 is just getting ready for launch, possibly by July middle. It's going to be yet another interesting period to watch how it moves away from Earth to Moon. And also the mission to Lagrangian point L1, which is very unique in terms of the mission planning and operations to reach there very safely and to position in that halo orbit around L1. And that too, the first time that we are trying to do this. It's again an interesting, challenging mission operation for the team. But not to speak about the just happened, the NAVIC's NVS-01 mission, where the satellite has been positioned almost at the required place now. And possibly in a few days of time, the payloads will be switched on for its getting into operation. Really congratulate the team for achieving it in very, very short time to reach this destined orbit. I foresee great initiatives now to come from the team in ISRO and also the partners with us in the coming days when we are going to deploy a large number of satellite constellations, specifically the small satellite missions, how to operate them in a very coordinated manner, bringing in new technologies, new approaches in such scenarios so that we can derive the best benefit out of them. It's also important to establish ground infrastructure which will meet the demand. In the days to come, I foresee that there is a large number of ground network and installations have to happen in this country. And this also opens up a new possibility for operators, industries, people who are designing and developing them to come and then work together with the space community to build better, more efficient, operational friendly systems for spacecraft operations and mission operations. So once again, let me thank all the organizing committee members, the leaders who have paid a lot of effort and time to organize this conference, bring all the leadership experts from all around the world to have this conference, and also to create required enthusiasm among the community to write papers and submit it and then go through the process of review, etc. I believe it will really create the needed enthusiasm and energy in the community to do much better things. Thank you so much, and thank you very much, and wait for an excellent conferencing in 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the words of inspiration and guidance and enumerating the way ahead for spacecraft mission operations. The success of any event is largely influenced by the inspiring presence of a great personality who lends his charisma to the occasion. And we are honored to have as our chief guest Mr. Shoyi Lega, who has graciously accepted our invitation. Mr. Shoyi Lega is International Astronautical Federation former president and honorary ambassador of France. A trained engineer and scientist, his entire career has been devoted to the European space program. He has held positions within the French National Scientific Research Agency, CNRS, several French ministries like Novspace and Starsem, and has been the president of CANES, the French space agency, from 2013 to 2021. He is a recipient of the Astronautics Prize from the French Association of Aeronautics and Astronautics in 2001 and the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Asia Pacific Satellite Communication Council. He holds the rank of officer in both the Legion of Honor and the National Order of Merit in France. We are elated and privileged to have you here, sir. I request you to deliver the inaugural address.
So, thank you, Madam. Dear Chairman Somanat, dear distinguished guests, and dear friends, I am very honored to be here in India, to be chief guest of this conference and to inaugurate this international conference. This for me, and you know that, always a pleasure to be in India. My first time was 25 years ago. And today, this pleasure is bigger because since then, India became the most populated country in the world, and so it is more and more important in geopolitics. I've been involved in very promising and successful cooperations. When I was chairman and CEO of Arianespace, I launched many Indian satellites, and in France, in Europe, we are very proud of the trust India put in Ariane launchers. You probably remember, some of you probably remember that Apple, one of the first Indian satellites, had been launched on the third launch of Ariane in 1981, a long time ago. But since then, we continued, and so I was very proud to launch the satellites from Kourou in French Guiana. When I was president of CNES, I was involved in satellite projects, Megatropic, which worked perfectly during several years in orbit, Saralaltika, and of course we decided Trishna, which will be a very important milestone in our cooperation. I had the opportunity to meet very important people in India, and one of my most important souvenirs in CNES is in 2015, when I had the privilege to welcome your Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Modi, in Toulouse, in our technical center. Toulouse in France is a little bit as Bangalore in India. And I was very impressed to see that your Prime Minister is an excellent specialist of space. He asks me a lot of questions, and I can tell you that he speaks in a very, very positive way of all the ISRO achievements. So Mr. Modi in Toulouse was very important, and as a matter of fact, your Prime Minister will be back to France next month. He will be the chief guest of the Bastille Day, so it means that he will be on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, close to President Emmanuel Macron, and this shows how much are strong the links between France and India. In space, of course, I had the opportunity to work with many very important people in India, Chairman Somanath, and we worked together a few years ago in the bureau of the IIF when I was the president of the IIF, but also more recently, Dr. K, Mr. Kiran Kumar, and I should say that I was very proud to receive with him an award in Caltech in California. It was the Van Karman Awards a few years ago. Also, Dr. Radhakishman, Madhavan Nair, of course, who has been the president of the International Academy of Astronautics, Kasturi Rangan, and some other ones. I had also the pleasure to attend the ISC in Hyderabad a few years ago, and the ISC in Hyderabad was outstanding success. I think that it was one of the first time the ISC was in Hyderabad, and more recently I was delighted to chair the committee who elected Dr. Anil Kumar as a new vice president of the IIF. But today space is changing a lot, and this is for different reasons, progress of technology, economics, geopolitical. And so I will have the privilege to speak this afternoon, and I will try to explain why we go towards a new world space order, and in my opinion, why for India there is a real opportunity to increase the cooperation with Europe, and in particular with France. Since this conference is also co-organized by the International Academy of Astronautics, I would like to insist on the importance of this academy, because it's a kind of link between space specialists worldwide. The Academy organized or co-organized many conferences as this one during the year, in general 15 to 20. And people are elected in the Academy, and I encourage all of you to apply, because we need young people, we need people coming from every place in the world. We need also a lot of female specialists, and the Academy, in my opinion, will be more and more important in the coming years, because space will be more and more important. So, this is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to tell you this morning. Once again, congratulations for the success of India and the fantastic development of India during the last years in the field of high technologies. Congratulations for this conference, because I see a lot of attendance. Congratulations for SMOPS-2023. Congratulations for your space program, which is very impressive. And as we say in French, bravo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for warm inaugural address and addressing the strong Indo-French space ties. We have among us Dr. Pawan Kumar Goenka, Chairman, Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center, INSpace, the institutional and regulatory body established to facilitate private participation in the space sector. He believes space is clearly a sector with tremendous potential for leveraging what ISRO and other space scientists have accomplished. Having proven his mettle in terrestrial arena, he has now donned the mantle of onboarding the private sector onto the space bandwagon. We are eager to hear you, sir. Before that, I request you to release the souvenir, which is a completion of abstract and technical session paper and the messages of all dignitaries. I request Dr. P.D. Mishra, Secretary, Technical Review Committee, to bring in the souvenir for release. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Lagal, Chief Guest for the conference, Sri Somnath, Secretary DOS, Dr. Sankaran, Dr. Chauhan, Mr. Ramakrishna, and Ms. Nandini. The glamour of space is often seen in the launch vehicles, the satellites, the photographs from Mars and Moon, and the stunning photographs from Earth. There are very few who realize, and I was one of them, as to what really goes behind the scene in mission planning. So when I was told about this conference several months ago, I said to myself, who will really be interested in attending a conference on mission operations? And I thought that speakers will be talking to each other in an empty room. So I was really surprised and impressed to see there are 900 people who wanted to understand and learn more about mission operations. And more encouraging, the fact that about 200 students have shown up to understand more about mission operations. One of the advantages that I have in attending these conferences, being still a learner in space, is an opportunity to deep dive into a subject. So I got a good briefing on what goes behind the scene in mission planning by Devasis and Vijay Kumar from his track. And I was really amazed to see the intense and thorough planning exercise by ISRO scientists that goes behind effective execution of the scientific and remote sensing missions of imaging satellites, right from defining the mission objectives to sizing of spacecraft, payload, power system, and propulsion, inter-satellite link and ground station visibility for TTC and payload data download, to post-mission disposal. And all of this is supported, of course, by excellent infrastructure that ISRO has. But the value of this conference is to see where do we go from here. Dr. Somnath talked about the various technologies. Mr. Ramakrishna talked about AI, ML, sensors, automation, all of that. And clearly, as we see the space getting more and more crowded, with up to 25,000 satellites orbiting the Earth by 2030, the role of mission planning will become even more important. The margin of error, which even today is very, very small, will almost become zero. And therefore, the value of the conference is to really understand where do we go from here. What is it that we learn from technologies in various different fields? And all of these words, buzzwords that we talk about, they're all applicable to mission planning, as I understand it now. In fact, a few weeks ago, I was talking to Secretary Das about how we get private sector to do more and more in the space area. And his view was that private sector will soon learn all about launch vehicles, satellites, payload design, but the most difficult thing for them to master will be mission operations. And that's where he said that ISRO has to continue to handhold the private sector for a long, long time. And it is up to the private sector really to get deeply into it, to understand what mission planning is all about, because it's a lot of tacit knowledge. It's not something that you'll find in textbooks, not something that you will get taught in college. And therefore, this knowledge has to be acquired with the help of people who have done it and been there. An endeavor of INSpace and ISRO must be to transfer the skill and technical know-how on SMOPS to the NGEs and handhold them for private investment. Let me change track a little bit and talk about the space sector reforms. The space sector reforms, as most of you know, undertaken by Government of India, are opening opportunities for all stakeholders. First, for the country. Space can really add tremendous value to the economy, from a small $8-10 billion to maybe 5x, 5, 7, 10 years from now. Second, to the private sector, because it opens up an opportunity to participate in a sector that is on a rising path. Third, for the government itself, because the opening of the sector allows monetizing what has been done by ISRO in the last 50, 60 years. Fourth, for ISRO, because they could be participating and concentrating more and more on scientific development and less on routine day-to-day operations or routine day-to-day manufacturing of spacecrafts and launch vehicles. And fifth, for the world itself, because India could play a much bigger role in space exploration and special commercial utilization for the whole globe. The wheels have started turning, as is witnessed by the increasing number of commercial missions, momentum in the private sector industry, 4 spacecraft missions, 1 launch vehicle mission, 9 POEM experiments in last 12 months, investor confidence going up, more than $110 million invested in 2022, and already $37 million in this calendar year. TOT is taking wings, transfer of technology. 9 have already been approved, 9 are identified. PSLV manufacturing happening by private sector. Some major tech transfer to be announced soon. Various states in India are also looking at space very aggressively and wanting to come up with incubation centers and manufacturing clusters. MSMEs and large industries that have been vendor to ISRO up to now are looking to move up to the value chain. There is growing interest among global space tech businesses to partner with India and invest in the Indian space sector. And all of this is thanks to the Indian Space Policy 2023, which has provided a much-awaited framework for active private sector participation for domestic as well as foreign space companies. I'll talk more about policy later after this session. The upcoming revised FDI policy is also expected to further facilitate overseas investment in the space sector. These are just initial signs. We need to move forward in a planned manner. Decadal plan to be formally rolled out very soon. It has been developed where we are looking at 5x growth in the space economy. And a very good starting point has been given to us, to the private sector, by ISRO, with all the work that has been done, all the technologies developed and the infrastructure developed. And to achieve this, as I've said in many conferences before, a lot needs to be done. Each stakeholder, ISRO, Government of India, NCIL, NGEs, academic institutions, will have to play a crucial role and in space will provide the glue to bring it all together. And we have to take a whole of nation approach in making it happen. I will come back in the afternoon or in late morning to talk a little bit more in detail about policy, FDI, about opportunities, about things that we have to do. But I want to leave you with a message that the private sector has a very big role to play. What the private sector has to do is to think big, not incremental. And also, unlike many other sectors where startups are coming in, space is not a sector of instant gratification. You will have to have patience, work slowly, inch your way up. You will have failures, you will have successes, but if you have the perseverance, finally, success will come. So let us all work towards the goal that our Prime Minister has set in front of us to really leverage the potential that we have in the space economy in India and become a provider of space services, not just to India, but to the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the motivating words and enunciating the process of amalgamation of private and government space sectors. The soft copy of the souvenirs is available on the SMOPS app as well. We are glad to have with us today Shri M. Shankaran, Director of U.R. Rao Satellite Center, Bengaluru, the lead center in the country for design, development, and realization of all spacecrafts of ISRO. He is currently leading the satellite fraternity to realize various types of satellites to meet the national requirements in the areas like communication, navigation, remote sensing, meteorology, and interplanetary exploration, while leading and encouraging all efforts towards innovation, miniaturization, and indigenization. He is also spearheading the avionics system design, realization, and qualification for the Gaganyaan program. As the chairman of Advisory Committee SMOPS, he has steered all the activities of the conference right from inception to culmination, overseeing even the minute details like selection of topics and execution of the program in its entirety. I request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning, and my dear friends, honored of the dais. First, let me compliment the ISTRAC team led by Director Ramakrishna for taking up this idea and bringing it to this stage today, the first day of this conference. Compliments to you for conceiving and organizing the SMOPS conference. And I also congratulate the members who are not really associated on day-to-day basis with the spacecraft operations and have found interest in coming and participating in this conference from various ISRO centers, academia, as well as industry. Because if you have noticed around, there are a lot of conferences going on related to space activities. Say particularly, let us say, take about satellites, instruments, mission, flagship missions. But you will hardly find any conference or any publication related to operations and mission management. If you wonder why it is like that, because that is where the not returned down, and the knowledge which is intangible stays. This knowledge till now has not been translated into either in conferences or on as publication in papers. That is also the reason why there are not many people who are doing this mission management and satellite operations successfully, except those who are associated with the satellite majors, who are manufacturing large satellite. The satellite majors generally have these mission operations attached to them. So as the satellite major for ISRO, the U.R. Rao Satellite Center is actually responsible for not only realizing the satellite. As extension of the U.R. Rao Satellite Center, we have ISTRAC and MCF who do the mission operations, where all this intangible knowledge gets collected. Now today we are having this conference where this intangible knowledge is going to get disseminated to willing and those people who are willing to keep their eyes and ears open to learn about this. And this could not have happened at a more opportune time than now, because as has already been referred to by both Chairman in Space and Chairman ISRO, the space sector reforms initiated by government 3 years ago has generated a lot of interest from many people to participate in many various activities of the space sector. But for this particular area of mission operations, planning and execution, where it is more like an aircraft manufacturer. Can the aircraft manufacturer survive or have a good design of an aircraft without a feedback coming from on field from the aircraft? That is, as we were discussing a few days ago, Chairman was mentioning that the data telemetry from aircraft independently goes directly to the aircraft manufacturer. It doesn't even go through the operator. See, that is the kind of feedback that is required for space vehicle design. And the spacecraft mission operations is that mechanism which provides this feedback to satellite designers and equipment designers, without which any design you make for space vehicles will be like doing your graduation or post-graduation project work. You may feel that you have done some work, and many of us were in school also would have made one radio we would have assembled, amateur radio, a receiver we have assembled. Do you think that with that knowledge a product can be realized and marketed? The difference between that amateur knowledge about any subject, book given knowledge getting converted into a product and service is based on the intangibles that come from mission operations. And this conference is going to disseminate this knowledge to those who are willing to learn on these subjects, or those who are interested in learn these subjects. So congratulations once again for the listeners who have come here to participate in this conference, and compliments to my friends from ISTRAC, MCF and NRSC for taking this initiative to disseminate this knowledge, and wishing all the participants very happy learning for the next 2 days, and for the veterans to reminisce and to take the opportunity to find out what they started, where it has come today, and how far it is going to go further grow and become a bigger and bigger thing in this domain of spacecraft operations. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words and iterating the importance of mission planning and operations. We are honored to have with us Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad. An alumni of IIT Roorkee, he pioneered the research activities for planetary remote sensing at Space Application Center to study solar system objects through Indian planetary missions. More recently, his work on Chandrayaan-2 IIR spectrometer data has resulted in unambiguous detection of water on Moon's surface. I request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath ji, Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman Space, Mr. Legal, the chief guest of today's function, Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, all the participants for this SMOP-2023, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you all. It's my pleasure and honor to be part of this inaugural function for this very important conference which is being organized in this wonderful city of Bengaluru on a very special topic of space satellite mission operations and ground segment operations activities, which is being hosted by ISRO and led by Dr. B.N. Ramakrishna ji, Director Strack and his team, and Astronautical Society of India. Many congratulations to the entire team for hosting this wonderful international conference here and bringing so many people to participate in this conference and very important speakers on this important aspects of mission operations and ground segment operations. I represent here the data user community, in particular the Earth observation satellite data users community, and of course the ground segment community, which is basically in National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad. First of all, I would like to thank the spacecraft mission operations people in India and abroad for providing these wonderful satellite images to the user community and also helping, in terms of, demands which the user community is putting on special acquisitions and the data tasking and satellite tasking. Very few people are aware the kind of role our satellite mission operations people play in terms of providing the data on demand to the user community. And this type of conference will definitely bring out the importance of this work which is being done by this community. And I'm sure that a large number of young participants, students, those who are attending this conference will be immensely benefited by deep insight into the spacecraft operations. National Remote Sensing Center is a lead center of ISRO, which has been responsible for receiving the Earth observation satellite data from all ISRO's Earth observation fleet. And the first ground station was established in Shadnagar in Hyderabad way back in late 70s or so. Since then, we have moved a long distance, and currently we are operating a world-class integrated multi-mission satellite data reception system called IMGEOS, where 9 antenna systems are operating at Shadnagar. We are also having ground station activities at Antarctica as well as in Jodhpur in this country, and we are cooperating with large number of international players both in the North Pole as well as in the northern part of the Americas to get the all required global acquisitions of Earth observation satellites from Indian space missions. As all of you are aware, the satellite data is becoming very important, especially the Earth observation data is becoming very important for socio-economic benefits, as well as various aspects of applications which are linked to the sustainable development goals, whether in the field of agriculture security, food security, water security, or a sustainable future for in the domain of climate change. The space observations are becoming very key and critical for decision making as well as providing valuable services to the citizens across the globe. In that context, as has been told, that the satellite technology has also been evolving, especially we are now entering into the era of small satellites, constellations, and the data rates, the resolutions of the space imagery in terms of Earth observation is also increasing, and now we are operating something like 20 to 30 centimeter data sets in multiple spectral bands in the different parts of electromagnetic spectrum. This is putting a great challenge to the ground segment operations, especially bringing all these high resolution, high throughput data to the ground from the satellites to the ground stations. So in that context, the symposiums like this becomes very important, and where the experts can come and discuss and debate the emerging technologies, especially in terms of bringing this data, the satellite data communication. We are all operating now, started mostly in S-band communication. Now we are going in ISRO itself. We have achieved X and Ka-band communication systems. But the optical communication systems are going to be the key of the future. And probably I am sure that there are a large amount of papers and themes which are going to get discussed in this conference, especially in terms of solving these issues. Autonomy on board and data compression issues, data processing issues on board, and then bringing only relevant data is also a key area where large amount of work is supposed to be done. And I think there are large amount of papers which are going to address these issues. As far as the ground segment operations are concerned, the data archival and then disseminating this data to the users is also an important component of ground segment activity. At NRSC, we run a world-class data center with 24/7 support to disseminate all Earth observation data from ISRO. We are gearing up for the next upcoming missions of RISAT-1B, as well as the very important mission which we are doing with NASA called the NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, or the NISAR mission. And I'm sure that this conference will give big exposure to all the participants as far as the Earth observation mission and the ground segment operations are concerned. I once again congratulate the entire team of SMOPS-2023 to conceive this entire idea and bring so many important speakers and large amount of attendees to this conference. And I wish this conference a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for explaining the importance of data disseminations and role of the mission operation team in helping the community. We are glad to have with us today Sri Pankaj D. Kiledar, currently Associate Director, Master Control Facility, Hassan, the Satellite Control Center for all the ISRO satellites in the geostationary orbit. He played multiple roles in a GeoSat program at UR Satellite Center as the Project Director. He has successfully realized various communication satellites, including the latest satellite CMS-02, based on the new demand-driven model. I request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Chairman ISRO S. Somnath ji, Chief Guest Legal, Chairman in Space Sri Goenka ji, all other dignitaries sitting on this dais, all ISRO Center Directors, in Space, NSIL, Prince. I welcome you all for this SMOPS-2023 conference on behalf of MCF. As the theme of the conference suggests, it is timely and apt that we have to learn. It's an ideal platform to exchange ideas and know about robust, secure mission operations, automations, large constellation management, and future trends in ground system establishment. I am sure these 2 days will bring all stakeholders together under one umbrella, which will pave way for future fruitful collaborations and partnerships. As regards to MCF, Master Control Facility, established in 1982, past 40 years, we are managing ISRO's communication, navigation, and meteorological services satellite, and we have operated more than 50 geo satellites. MCF, 2 operation centers in Hassan and Bhopal together are currently controlling 29 geo satellites. And as Chairman explained, we are now controlling NVH-01 satellite, which IoT will start next month. With changing times, we have to also evolve. And as we move towards more higher frequency band, high throughput, SDR payload services, we established MEO and LEO constellations. We also venture into optical communication and quantum communication domains. Ground systems also has to match these new age requirements. They should be more flexible, adaptable, and 100% autonomy should be the key of the hour. There should not be any manual operation and manual mistakes. I am sure this conference will focus on this aspect. I once again welcome all of you for this conference. I wish this conference a grand success. I also wish you enjoyable stay in Bengaluru and happy memories back home after these 2 days. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for providing the insight into geostationary operations and role of MCF. To indelibly etch the memory of an event in our mind, a word of appreciation, a word of gratitude goes a long way. On this note, let us proceed towards the memento distribution as a token of appreciation to all the dignitaries on the stage. I request Sri S. Somnath to present the memento to our chief guest as a token of our respect. Thank you, sir. I invite Sri B. N. Ramakrishna to present a memento to Sri S. Somnath. Thank you, sir. I request Sri M. Shankaran to present a memento to Dr. Pavan Kumar Goenka. Thank you, sir. I request Shri M. R. Raghavendra to present a memento to Shri M. Shankaran. Thank you, sir. I invite Srimati Nandini Harinath to present a memento to Shri B. N. Ramakrishna. Thank you, madam. I request Shri Anandan to present a memento to Dr. Prakash Chauhan. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Manikantan Ramadas to present a memento to Dr. Vinod Kumar. Thank you, sir. I invite Shri Leo Jackson John to present a memento to Srimati Nandini Harinath. Thank you, everyone. I hope this keepsake showcasing the rich art of Karnataka will be a fond reminder of this event for all of you in the future.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Vinod Kumar, Executive Secretary of Astronautical Society of India, Director of Directorate of Promotion in Space, and alternate chairperson of Organizing Committee, SMOPS, has been an instrumental in hosting this conference. He is an expert in control dynamics and application of artificial intelligence in the area of control system. I request you, sir, kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Amit. Respected Sri Somnathji, Secretary DOS, Chairman ISRO, President ASI, Mr. Swin Lee Gaul, former President IF and Honorary Ambassador French, and our beloved Dr. Pawan Goenka ji, Chairman in Space, Honorable Director, URSC, respected Kiran sir, former Secretary Department of Space, most valued SMOPS community, industry sponsors, academicians, speakers, keynote speakers from around the globe, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Friends, I got the opportunity to work for mission operations for over 2.5 decades. This topic is very close to my heart. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on the occasion of International Conference on Spacecraft Mission Operations. I, on behalf of the entire Indian space fraternity, extend very hearty thanks to our beloved Secretary Department of Space, President ASI, for providing all necessary guidance and taking personal care in resolving any issues for this unique conference and gracing the occasion in spite of very busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir. We are inspired by your gracious presence and great words. Expect a clapping. The Indian space fraternity is overwhelmed by the presence of Dr. Pawan Goenka, Chairman in Space. We thank you for releasing the souvenir and addressing the gathering. Our deep sense of appreciation goes to Honorary Ambassador of France, Mr. Legal, former President IAF, for gracing the occasion. Thank you very much, sir. Friends, it was during IAC 2022 in Paris that ASI proposed to associate with International Academy of Astronautics. And I should thank Dr. Jean-Michel Contant, Secretary General IAA, International Academy of Astronautics, to have agreed on the spot. I'll say within 1 hour we worked out, and after discussion he was very happy to associate and provide an international look to this conference. We are thankful to him and IAA President Mr. John Shoemaker also. Our thanks are due to Mr. S. Sankaran, Director, URSC, Chairman, Advisory Committee, for encouragement, support, guidance, and valuable suggestions at every stage of the planning this workshop. Thank you, sir. Dr. S. Ramakrishnan, Director, InSpace, you have really brought a very novel topic for the conference. We thank you for that, and it's really honored that you are here. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to all organizing committee members for careful planning and executing it so well, and of course, industry partners and sponsors. I'll tell you that we have got a very huge response from the industry sponsors and partners. We will work out the details, but we thank you for your participation and encouragement given to the ASI. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago. It requires careful planning and a bird's eye view for detail. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a very motivated and dedicated team led by Ms. Nandini Harinath. Thank you, madam, for being with us at every stage. The next very important topic in this conference topic is spacecraft mission operation, and space sector reforms are going on. So we have thrown a challenge to you, and there is a one session, dedicated session, whether readiness of Indian private industry to take up the spacecraft mission operation. Please watch this panel discussion. It is led by our Lieutenant General Mr. Bhatt, who is the Director General Indian Space Association. Please participate in this and tell your view. We will request sir to give the final report, what is their view and status of this. Thank you for agreeing and participating in this. Friends, as you are aware that ASI is conducting InSpace CanSat India student competition. So last week we got idea, maybe 2 weeks back, that we should ask them to participate in this. So initially we received around 80 applications, and now 54 preliminary design, and we could shortlist 40 teams. All have gone through comprehensive design review. So we extended this invitation to them, please come and participate. And I'm happy to tell you around 22 teams has come forward. So they are participating in the conference. We welcome you, and 2 teams have come forward to display their product also. Please visit them and encourage. I should thank Dr. Pawan Goenka for agreeing to have interaction with the teams. It is planned today. Thank you, sir, for your time for the team. We have tried to make our best hospitality arrangement for you, try to get benefit out of it and all the deliberations. I must thank all the members of organizing committee, subcommittee, ASI team led by Mr. Amit Singh, PD Misra. He is doing a great job. You are all really committed. You come forward to take up any challenge and you are result oriented. I don't feel whether you have slept today. Tonight you are, I know 12 o'clock also you are working and night I came. Thank you so much for being a catalyst to success of this conference. My vote of thanks will not be complete without thanking all the supporting staff responsible for awesome logistic arrangement for safe driving, videography, security, hotel catering, etc. Let's thank them all with a good round of applause. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, once again I want to state that we are all most grateful to all the dignitaries present here. We thank you for being with us today and one more day. It has been a great pleasure and enjoy your participation. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for conveying the sincere feelings of gratitude and thanks to all concerned. The ball has now been set rolling for SMOPS, and as we approach the end of the inaugural session, we look forward to the beginning of the technical sessions to propel the space dreams. We have the upcoming plenary sessions on interesting topics of advancement in space technologies by Chairman ISRO, Indian space policy by Chairman InSpace, managing space assets, story of birth of Celestrak by Dr. T.S. Kelso, human space mission challenges and future by Mr. Sergey Krikalev, and cybersecurity for space by Dr. Rajesh Pant. Following the national anthem, we will have inauguration of the exhibition by Shri S. Somnath on the topic of emerging technologies and automation in space mission operations and ground segment. The inauguration will be live streamed. During the inaugural, all delegates can remain seated and watch the live stream. We have stalls by the sponsors in the exhibition. The inauguration will be followed by high tea. Everyone is requested to partake of the same and join us back for the plenary sessions at 11 o'clock. For media friends, a press meet is arranged in the first floor Strategy 1 hall at 11:30 a.m. I now request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Request all delegates to be seated.
Everyone can proceed for the high tea and assemble back by 11 a.m. Thank you.
Check with people once.
ಆಯ್ತಾ